the game on the Vikings team when we get to that.
Hey, Prop Beaver, when you said that dude yesterday got sheeted, man, you talking about something that was funny? Oh my God!
Thank you, I appreciate it. He did get cheated.
You just got sheeted.
I mean, actually, I was the one who got fucking cheated.
T-shirt. You got to put that on a T-shirt, right?
We're working on the branding over here. The merch shop is reopening soon. Some are saying.
I like it.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday to you all. Hope you all had a better Sunday than I did. Broadcasting this live from the gutter. 0-3 yesterday in the 3 games. Full of shame. No pride left. Good God, wildcard weekend sucked for me. It sucked. Wow. What a disgrace the Bucks are, right? All right, let's move on to Monday. Not a lot of action on the board tonight. We have the one NFL game, obviously, but in terms of basketball, it's not a crazy basketball night. First, so a lot of people sent in submissions for the new intro song. I was going to do a thing where people voted, but honestly, we created the new intro, and this song just so clearly fits it the best. So this is the new intro. This is what we got. This is the rough draft. Here it is. I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. All right. So that's the rough draft we're working with. That song just like fits it so perfectly. I narrowed it down to 6 really good ones, but that song just fit the visuals perfectly. So yeah, that's the rough draft we're rocking with right now. So anyway, let's talk some basketball. And at the moment, wow, we're getting positive comments about an intro. I didn't even think that was possible. Yeah, the new visuals are cool with the clips with our voice in it. I think makes it. Chris, I'm just realizing you never even saw it, so you don't even know what they.
I didn't even hear. Yeah, I gotta go back and look at it afterwards.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after, or you can go look at it afterwards.
I'll look at it afterwards.
So I don't have any NBA bets down at the moment. I'm all ears though. Let's talk through it. First up, we got Pistons. Knicks are laying 7.5 points at home here. Chris, did you take a look at this one?
Yeah, I looked at it. Of course, I looked at it. Don't like this spot for either team here, really, Kyle. You got both teams playing 7 game and 11 nights. That's a lot of travel for both teams. We know Detroit just played a 5th game in 7 nights against Golden State. They lost that game the other day, bounced back and beat the Toronto Raptors. And then for your Knicks, they got absolutely rolled up and smoked the other day against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They bounced back in a big way and absolutely blow out the Milwaukee Bucks. So, we always talk about liking the Knicks off, on a bounce back. I just was a little gun shy yesterday. Didn't pull the trigger with them. They were in a primetime spot yesterday, especially with the Bucks coming off 3 wins. So kind of kicking myself about that. Brunson left yesterday, Cal. I think it was 3rd quarter with a stinger in his right shoulder. So not his shooting arm, but he did pop back up. He's listed as questionable. One of the reasons I didn't play his game. He did come back into the game. He played another however many minutes and scored another 10 points. So I'm not sure how much it affected him here. Detroit does have a little bit of revenge. If we remember at the beginning of the season, the Knicks absolutely smoked Detroit. They beat them by 30. I think it was 128-98 in Detroit earlier this season. Then the Detroit came in and got a little bit of revenge. They actually beat the Knicks outright in the Garden. So I'm not sure if New York is going to keep that going here, Kyle. They talked about being consistent. Detroit's kind of playing really good basketball. I looked at Cade specifically in this matchup, Kyle. We know you talk about it all the time. Your Knicks are not great against the pick and roll, and that's where Cade, that's his bread and butter. 25.5 is his point prop. He's been crushing that line. I think he's up and over 5 of the 9 games, 5 of the 8 games that he's played without Ivy. And I just honestly don't trust Malik Beasley. I don't trust Tim Hardaway Jr. So that was one of the ways that I was looking in this game was Cade. But how can you play it, Cal, without knowing the status of Brunson if he's going to be there or not?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, too. And before we go on, Thomas Smith in the comments says he's at the hospital about to have a baby tuned into the live. Can't miss the show. Wow, that's a first. Congratulations.
Right there.
Yeah, congratulations, Thomas Smith.
Congratulations, Thomas. That's dope, man.
So, yeah, I was looking at this while Chris was talking on the spreadsheets here, and the New York definitely looks like a tough matchup for the Pistons and what they're trying to do. They've been rebounding the ball well on both sides of the floor, and they've been forcing turnovers. That's a few metrics that Detroit has really nice-looking marks here in the last 10 games. There's a problem with that. The Knicks are an excellent rebounding team, and they have been as of late as well. They're on the road to Madison Square Garden. Do we really expect the Pistons to win the rebounding battle here? It's a little bit of a tougher ask. They are 25th in strength of schedule in their last 10 games. And also, the Knicks do a pretty good job protecting the basketball as well. So are the Pistons going to be able to force turnovers on the Knicks here? I don't know. I don't know if I like the matchup for the Pistons. I probably would lean Knicks. You could put a Knicks graphic up, but nothing I see here, nothing I heard would make me feel inclined to place a bet on this game. Let's go to the next one. Golden State, Toronto. Raps are catching 6.
Charles Salmon in the Discord all over the Raps, I believe.
Who's all over the Raps?
Charles Salmon of the Discord.
Oh, Selman?
Mr. Selman.
Selman's on the Raps. All right. Well, I'm looking at it. Something I do like, the Raps on the season, 2nd in strength of schedule, 4th in strength of schedule in the last 10 games. They've been playing a tough schedule. The Warriors have looked like absolute piss. Anything on the injury report here, Chris?
Yeah, we got Draymond listed as questionable. I don't think he went through shoot around. And then quickly was not on the injury report, but then early this morning he popped up with a hit. So in my opinion, Kyle, you kind of like Toronto a little bit better without Quickly. I just saw one of their beat writers tweet this out, but he's come back. It's been like 3 or 4 games. They're like a minus 25.5 with him on the floor. You know, it's going to take a while. The defense, of course, is going to get worse. So I kind of feel like if you want Toronto, you kind of want Quickly to be out, honestly. Like, they're still getting adjusted to playing with them. You mentioned the schedule has been really difficult. I think you said last 10, but last 5, they played the 2nd most difficult schedule. And we know Golden State's been going through a gauntlet as well. They actually are top, I think, 11th in strength of schedule over their last 5 games as well. You got 5th game in 7 nights the other day with the Pacers, but they rested Draymond and Clay in that game. So, I mean, not Clay, Draymond and Steph. So, they should, if Draymond plays, I feel like they can win the game. I'm not wanting to trust them to cover though. I think the thing I kind of got my eye on here, Cal, just kind of based on the injury report, is Golden State win margin 1-10. I think that they win. I don't know if they cover. I do think that they're better than Toronto. If you look at the 3-point shooting, that's one of the more equalizing things for me. Golden State, even though they've been trash as of late, they have shot the 3-point ball really well, and they're getting up a lot of attempts as well. So I like that. We know not Detroit. Toronto can struggle to keep up sometimes because they don't shoot the 3-point shot really well. They also, at the beginning of the season, were a great offensive rebounding team and great rebounding team in general. That has kind of regressed. Golden State actually doing a pretty good job of rebounding the basketball. So this is a game where if Quickly was in, I think you look towards the over just because he pushes the pace so much and the defense gets so much worse. But with him potentially being questionable, I think that Golden State win margin. I think they win, but I don't know if they win by margin. So 1-10, Kyle, you can get it like plus 180. So it's a market that I typically don't play too much of, but I probably need to. That way I can stay off the point spread because I do think Toronto's going to keep it close. What you think?
Interesting there. I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. I was looking at this while you were talking. I would say if Quickly doesn't play, Raps team total under might be a decent look. I know like an under with Toronto is not exactly not something.
No,
like
I'm with you.
But
so Kyle, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, the Warriors 6-2 to the under as road favorites this season. Their games are averaging 217 points.
Yes,
so,
I mean,
no, continue. I just wanted to throw that in there.
My model's projecting this one out at 222 points. They have 113, 110 Golden State. But I in the last 5 games, the Raptors are 24th in pace. They haven't been running quite the same type of pace we're used to seeing from Toronto. Golden State not running a particularly fast pace. Also, what do the Raptors do? They like those fast breaks. Golden State, we've said this a number of times on the stream this year. They're number 1 in the NBA defensive efficiency against the fast break. So, I mean, Golden State should be a tough matchup. If Draymond Green plays and Quickly doesn't play, I like the Raps team total under quite a bit here at what would be 111 probably with this number. Probably Yeah, but this isn't one I have a bet down on.
No, this is. I think I think I'll go win margin 1-10, but I like that team total under as well. Okay.
Cool. Next game. Minnesota, Washington.
Find a diamond in the rough, Cal.
You got anything for this one? It's Minnesota, Washington. It's a 15-point line.
Nah, I can't get there, man. I really wanted to jump on Minnesota last night when this opened at 13.5. I just couldn't quite get there, Cal. I thought Washington was a failure yesterday against OKC. They absolutely was. They lost by like 41, I think it was. Now you got them coming back in this game. It's the second leg of a back-to-back, 3rd and 4, 4th and 5, 4th and 6, and 5th and 7 nights for this Washington Wizards team. They've already ruled out some guys, so there's no Brogdon, who's the guy that actually helps them cover. The problem with getting to Minnesota in this spot, in my opinion, Kyle, is that they're +1 on the road this season in point differential. And I went back and looked at it since last season because I don't really like to take the Wolves as favorites, especially on the road. They just play with their food a little too much for me. They've been double-digit favorites 4 times since the start of last season. They're 0-3-1 against the number. So, I mean, granted, I know they're supposed to come in here and clean up the Washington Wizards, and the Wizards, probably gonna stink it up like they have been doing over the last couple games. The Timberwolves just don't make. I have not seen enough that makes me want to say, you know what? Like, yeah, Timberwolves are gonna beat these boys by 25 today, and you would want them to win by 18, not by 16 if you're trying to get them to cover. You want a little bit of margin there. I'm not sure how much meat is on the bone here, Kyle. So I contemplated Wizards team total under, with it being a 5th game in 7 nights. Think that they, play a little bit slower. Timberwolves are top 5 rated defensive team on the road. Last 5 games on the full season, but I didn't get there with that either. It's a super low number. I think it was like 105.5 down to like 103.5 now. So I stayed off of this one altogether. But I'm not looking to back the Wizards either, though.
I mean, I know it sounds crazy to think about an over in a Minnesota Timberwolves game, but
they're 8-2 to the over, Cal, last 10 games between the two teams.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm assuming the totals haven't been 222.5. They've been lower than that, right?
I need to look into that, but keep talking.
Well, because obviously Minnesota has not been a team you associate with high-scoring games. But the Wizards, I mean, they run a crazy fast pace and can't play defense for shit. I mean, I think I would go over here.
What about the efficiency numbers, though, Kyle? They've been so inefficient with the basketball. Yesterday, I think they got to like 93 points.
What are you talking about, Minnesota?
Yeah, no, Washington.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Minnesota hasn't been playing all that great defense either. I just think the number 222.5 is pretty low for a game that could see 108 possessions apiece here. I don't know. I'm not betting this crap.
Me either. I'm looking at the recent totals just because you just talked about it. They last game they played was in Minnesota last season. It was 130 to 121. That went way up and over the total of 224. So very comparable total. Last game in DC last year was 229.5. That one actually went under 118 to 107. And then we got a couple other like 233s, 228s, 238s. All those are actually going up and over the total. So yeah, I'm not betting this one either. I couldn't quite get there with the Timberwolves, but not looking to play the Wizards right now.
Next. Memphis, Houston. All right, this is a cool one. Still displeased with Memphis for not winning. That was Thursday night. I had Memphis money line. It was my favorite NBA bet of the night. I got it at plus 125. It closed at minus 125. 50 cents down the drain. So now we got Houston laying 3.5. What's Memphis been doing the last few games?
So the game we bet on, I bet him that game too, Kyle. I was on the first half. He was on the full game. That game was the first game back with Desmond Bane and Ja Morant because they had missed the last few games. And remember, they had that crazy injury report. So now they're a lot healthier. They got their game underneath their belt against Minnesota the other day. And I kind of feel like if you can go in Minnesota and get a win, you can go into Houston and get a win too, especially with double revenge. Having the game back. I don't like that Ja Morant popped up on the injury report, which is the reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on this one. I kind of feel like you need all the horses. We know that the Rockets are not a pushover, specifically at home, and I kind of feel like they match up well with Memphis as well. They're 13-6 straight up at the crib, 11-7-1 against the number, but they have failed to cover 3 of their last 5 games in Minnesota, in Houston specifically. So I just kind of feel like, Memphis has been slightly profitable as a in revenge spots this season at 4-3 straight up and against the number. After losing the game in Houston, in Memphis the other day, Coach Jenkins, he kind of took the blame for calling that late timeout, because I don't know if he was watching, but Desmond Bane actually hit a 3 and they called timeout right before. The 3 would have tied the game. so he then they go into Minnesota and get a really good win. I just kind of feel like they probably got this one circle. He said that they couldn't wait to play against Houston in the next game. I know it's difficult. People don't want to fade Houston and Houston. I get it. Houston also got the extra rest because they were supposed to play on Saturday.
Yeah, they haven't played in 3 full days off. 3 full days off.
So they were supposed to play Saturday. They didn't because of the snow that came in Atlanta. So that game got canceled. So you got them with the rest advantage at home. But it is a double revenge spot, in-season double revenge spot for Memphis here. It's the only way I'm looking, Kyle. Haven't pulled the trigger yet. Plus 3.5 will be the way that I'm looking in this game, though. Just think that they come out a little bit more focused, maybe even early.
Yeah, I swear, maybe even early. I was thinking Houston after 3 full days off maybe comes out a little flat. Memphis first half.
Flat, yeah.
Just put Memphis up for me. Maybe I'll
They scored, I think it was 46 points, Kyle. They gave up 46 points in the first quarter on Thursday.
Really?
The Rockets offense doesn't even score 46 points in any quarter.
Yeah,
like, what
right.
are we doing? I
who's
think
gonna
we see a little regression here.
Who's going to dictate the pace in this game? Houston.
Probably Houston at home, I would think. Wouldn't you think? Like, home team
know.
typically dictates pace.
I suppose whether or not Ja Morant's going to be on the floor would have a big impact on that.
Yeah, it's just two. I looked at it earlier. It's just 2 points more being scored per possession with him on the floor versus off the floor. Defense doesn't change. It's about 110.
All right. Let's go to the last game up here. Wait, we have 2 more? 2 more games?
2 more, yep.
Heat Clippers up next. Clippers laying 6.5. Someone in the Discord likes the Clippers. I forget who said it. Someone was definitely talking some Clippers shit earlier. I think it was last night. Let's see. Injury report on this one. Adebayo questionable. Let's take a look how these teams are doing. I'm looking at these for the first time right now. I haven't.
I think it's a Clipper spot, Kyle.
Miami 3 wins in a row on this road trip.
Make sure you look at that strength of schedule.
I'm looking. Yeah, they did. They probably should have. Yeah, okay.
Utah and Portland.
Clippers were in Denver, in Minnesota. The Clippers, another game that was postponed, right?
Yeah, yep. They played Charlotte, so they got the extra rest too. Kyle, do you think the psychological effect of everything that's going on with the wildfires, do you factor that in at all?
I wouldn't even know how to venture a guess to answer that question. I don't know. I suppose it would matter if any of them are personally affected. I don't know.
So the reason why I mentioned that is because I was listening to Norman Powell. Well, Norman Powell talked about it as well. Said they can't use that as an excuse, but the last time that they played, it was in Denver with no Jokic on the floor, and they got absolutely smoked. Just ran off the floor. That we should have bet on Denver in that spot, especially with no Jokic and the wildfires going on. I think it was Nicholas Batum who said that like they literally couldn't stop checking their phones because everybody was just texting them and just trying to give them updates about what was going on. Now they're home though. They've been home for a while. I just think it's a Clipper spot. When they're at home, Kyle, they typically win. Strength of schedule has been a lot more difficult recently. When you look at them as a home favorite this season, they are 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread. They're winning by a margin, about 15 points. And I looked at them when they're covering at home, Kyle. So when this is what the deciding factor was to me, and I still didn't place the bet yet. But when they win at home, in there, I think it was 12 wins that they got at home. They've covered every single one of them, I think, except one. Because I was thinking like, this line is moved. I think it was like 4.5 yesterday, 5. So it's already moving, potentially no Bam. So they've won 12 times at home. They've covered 11. When they win, it's by about 14 points per game. The only one that they didn't cover was against the Raptors back on November the 9th. And then when I look at the Heat, I typically don't like fading them. But if they're on the road and they do lose, they don't cover. So if the Heat cover, they typically win the game. If they lose, they don't cover either. And to put some numbers with that real quick, if I can get this to load, I want to say that they were 0-9 is what the number was. Let me just let it populate. So I just kind of feel like they had the easiest schedule, Kyle. Like they played in Utah and in Portland, and now you got a Clippers team that's coming back home. Well, back home. I think it's a Clipper spot for sure, especially their last couple of games at home, they've actually won and dominated. They beat the Atlanta Hawks. Pretty sure you saw that. But the road games, they've actually getting smoked. They lost to the Spurs, lost to Denver. The Heat road losses, Kyle. They've lost 10 games on the road. They've covered one of them. When they lose, they lose by about 8 points per game, which is pretty much where their spread is. But they are 1-9 against the spread in their road losses so far this season. So here, I also contemplated a Clippers win margin of 1-10. That way I can kind of stay away from the spread, especially with it moving against me.
You did that same bet?
Like 5.5. I didn't bet it yet.
Is this your new thing?
No, but somebody brought it up on my show, and I'm like, bro, why do I keep trying to figure out these spreads if I think that the teams are going to cover? Well, if I don't know if the team's going to cover, but they're going to win, I do expect them to win, and I do expect the Clippers to win in this spot. So, yeah, when I look at the Heat losses, Kyle, they lost to the Kings by 5. These are road losses. They lost to the Kings by 5, lost to the Hawks by 10, to the Magic by 7, to the Pistons by 1. They did get smoked by the Celtics by 19. But it's a 3-point loss in here to the Raptors, a 9-point loss in here to the Pacers, a 2-point loss to the Pistons, a 3-point loss to the Suns. So they can keep it close. And I don't like, Spoelstra. He always got something up his sleeve, man. No Bam, though. I think they could win by margin. But if Bam plays, I think it's a win, another little win margin, 1-10. I like this bet in both of those games. Didn't bet either one of them yet.
I found a prop bet while you were talking.
What you like?
Zubats over rebounds.
Tell me why.
I want to see what the line is first, because if it's not, oh shit, 12.5.
He also doesn't rebound at home. He only rebounds on the road.
Oh my god, I don't believe in ghosts.
All right, well that's cool. Take his rebounds at home. Moron.
He doesn't rebound when there's
take his rebounds at home against a slow-paced team. Moron.
He doesn't rebound when there's a half waxing crescent
Idiot,
moon.
Stupid bitch.
12. Zubats over 12.5 rebounds. Put it on the screen.
Okay, yeah. Smart play.
Anyway, the reason, so the Miami Heat dead last in offensive rebounding rate in the last 10 games. They have no presence on the offensive glass. Clippers a great defensive rebounding team. So all the Miami Heat missed field goals in this game should end up as Clipper rebounds opportunity. And there should be a decent amount of missed field goals in this game because the Heat have not been hitting their shots at a high rate. 22nd in offensive rating in the last 10. So obviously I like the Clippers defense to play well. Keep the Heat from scoring at a high rate here. Missed shots should be Clippers rebounds. Zubats in the middle leads the team in defensive reboundings per game. 9.9 defensive rebounds per game in the last 10. Yeah, Zubats over rebounds. By the way, S-Dot's in the comments. He likes Tyler Hero over points. That does not make this today different than any other day. He has said
with the Heat on the money line.
He said he said whenever they keep Tyler Hero's point total below 23, you have to bet it. That's what he said. I'm not misquoting him. He said that whenever Tyler Hero's point total is below 23, you have to bet it. That's coming from S-Dot. If you don't know S-Dot, he's a diehard Miami Heat fan. He will bet the Heat 82 straight times. Swear it's a lock every time. All right, let's move on.
Kyle, real quick, before we move on, to your point, to Prop Beaver's point, Zubac. I know you don't look at these trends, but Zubac is only up and over his rebounds prop in 4 of 17 home games so far. However, in his last one against Atlanta, he did have 18 rebounds in that game.
But I thought he was
second
at home.
Second at pace compared to 29th at pace. I believe the Heat are, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to poke the
First of all, the Heat are 18th in pace in the last 5 games.
Kyle, to your point, Kyle, I cashed on Klingon rebounds up and over against this Miami Heat team the other day at 9.5. It was a really good look. And Walker Kessler had 15 in the other game, 16. I'm sorry, 16 the other day as well. So that was a good look. That was actually my only play on Saturday.
Next.
I agree with you both.
All right.
I don't agree with Prop Beaver. Spurs Lakers in LA. A lot of people like the Lakers. Several people have said Lakers in the Discord. I've heard Lakers. I've seen Lakers been thrown around. I saw Mark in the comments saying Clippers Lakers moneyline parlay. Mark, what's up, man? I saw he commented that before. There you go. TWD's crazy ass is on the Lakers. Never mind. It's a 5-leg parlay. Disregard what I just said.
Is his son on the Lakers too?
What about his?
Are
you all in the Lakers? Put the poll up. Chris, are you on the Lakers?
You know not. They just burned my money. I just took them against Dallas the other day. Now, can they bounce back here? Have they dominated the matchup with the Spurs? Yes. They've actually won both games so far this season. So they're looking to go 3-0. They've covered both spreads, all that good stuff. They've won 8 of the last 10 matchups. Like, AD's been one of the guys that has gotten the best of Wemby most of the games and actually come out with a win. But I'm not laying points with the Lakers, man. Financially and emotionally invested, nah, I'm good. That's my team. I'll just stay on the sideline. I will say this. Last thing that's a strong point for the Lakers is this is an older team. Like LeBron James, of course, is like 100. And when he's been rested, like 3 days or more for the Lakers, I think it's only happened twice this season, including the first game of the season. They've actually balled. They're 2-0 straight up and against the spread. And they've come, I think, against some pretty good opponents. I know opening night it was the Timberwolves. I can't remember what other game it was that they had 3 days of rest. And they've beat the Spurs without 3 days rest. So if they come in locked in, they're quote unquote wanting to do it for the city because of the wildfire type things, I think that they can beat San Antonio. San Antonio's regressed a little bit, specifically with that under that you had, Kyle, against the Bucks the last time we saw. They couldn't get a stop in that game. So Lakers, probably motivated after just with what's going on. Also got smoked in the last game against Dallas, coming off a loss against the Houston Rockets before that game. It could be a Lakers spot, but it won't any of my money be on it. I wish you guys the best of luck.
I don't know. Why does everyone like the Lakers here? The Lakers are struggling to protect the basketball. The Spurs are forcing turnovers. Last 10 games, the Spurs are second in the NBA in defensive rating, playing elite defense right now, protecting the rim. This is the best rim protection in the NBA, maybe. Lakers don't have a ton of outside shooting. Everyone's betting the Lakers because of the fires.
Fire. The Clippers too, probably.
That's what Toast just said in my ear, by the way. He said because of the fires. I don't know. I kind of think a 3.5 would be the Spurs. I'm not betting it, though. I'm not fading the fires.
Can't fade them, can't take them.
Why does it say up next to NFL? We're not doing college basketball next?
No, I mean, well, I had it. I told you the order before the show. I
thought you said college basketball was.
Then football, then
then the pick graphics are out of order then.
Oh, okay.
All right, Chris, thanks for joining. Oh, by the way, Chris, if you ever want to join a midnight stream, me and Toast are going to do the midnight stream tonight. We're bringing the midnight streams back. It's going to be tough without Andy because he was good on those midnight shows, but we're bringing it back. And I'm going to have NBA graphics lined up. If you ever want to, it doesn't. Okay. It's more unstructured. It's the type of thing where you could just hop on the comments and whatever.
Okay. All right. Now I appreciate the invite for sure. Best of luck tonight, fellas. I will see you tomorrow, Kyle.
Best of luck to you too.
Later.
Son.
All right, fellas.
All right. NFL. Can't wait till Zubac has 20 rebounds tonight.
I mean, the way I'm running, I know neither of us are running hot right now, but I'm somehow running worse. So God bless America. All righty, let's get into this one, huh?
All right, Vikings, Rams. Probably was going to set the poll up. Thanks
for running that yesterday, by the way, Sirianni. Had the Saquon under. Normal people run out the clock. I mean, let's just potentially risk our MVP type running back and run the ball twice for no fucking reason. Thanks. Super dope. Love the sport.
Did you see how his bet lost, Toast?
Unreal.
Dude,
truly unreal.
Saquon Barkley was at 98 yards. He had under 104.5. The Eagles got the ball up 13 with 2 minutes left, and they handed the ball off twice. He got 6 yards, 10 yards.
Yeah, there was no reason to run the ball. Just kneel it, done with the game. Like, they're already doing the press conference.
Toast, literally the last play of the game.
So stupid.
You want to put your name up under your thing?
Yeah, 1 sec. All right. Pins and needles, needles and pins. A happy man is a man that grins. All right.
That was the last play. Like, he could have. But, I mean, like, why would he? There was no reason to. People were pissed off at that. Like,
Hito Kiro said, you love Saquon under LOL for what? I mean, the bet would have fucking cashed if the Packers had healthy receivers. I mean, he didn't get the ball that much. I think it was a goddamn good bet. Anyways, let's get into tonight's action. Do you want to start first? Should I get my bet first?
I'll go.
Okay. You sound
under.
All right, there we go.
I don't really know. I thought for sure this number was going to close. I grabbed 47.5 early. I thought for sure this number was going to be closing down at 46. Obviously, that's not the case. You're still at 47.5. In my opinion, the production levels we could see in this game are just so all over the place that it makes it really difficult to make a prediction. Sam Darnold, what we saw in his last game, I don't know if it really could put into words what that was. I mean, that was he looked so uncomfortable. It looked like his first NFL game, and part of me is like, hey, that's one data point. You can't overreact to shit like that. One game versus how many good games did he have this year? Like 15. So like one game versus 15 games, you got to write that one game off as a bit of an outlier. Makes sense. But at the same time, it was the biggest game of the year. And this is a playoff game. So it was the biggest game of the year, followed by an even bigger game. So is last week's performance by Sam Darnold, is that an outlier? Or is that the only sample size we have of Sam Darnold in a playoff atmosphere type game? And I think that's a very good question. And I'm not trying to say the answer is either side. I'm just bringing up the question because I think that's what we need to answer here. Because if Sam, and I don't care if you're on the Vikings, if you guys are on the Vikings, you will even agree with me that if Sam Darnold from last week shows up, and that's the type of Sam Darnold that's going to be playing in this game, doesn't matter. Rams are going to win. That was so horrendous. That was so bad. The Lions didn't even play that well, and they blew them out. That's how bad it was. So, yeah, I took the under. I do think both teams are going to make it a point to try to run the football. I don't think either team is going to be particularly overly successful doing it. I think both teams will have moderate success running the ball, which is perfect for an under. You want the chains to slowly be moving. You want drives to stall out at midfield. And I think we could see some of that. Obviously, if the elite peak Sam Darnold shows up, there should be opportunities to make some big plays against the Rams secondary. But you know what? We've seen the Rams defense play pretty tough recently. A couple games. If you look at their last 5 games, you got a couple bad ones. The Bills, obviously, with Josh Allen, even though they were playing with a big lead in that game. Also, I think it was the Seahawks. Didn't Geno play pretty well in that one? Yeah. But there's also a few really good games in there. Weeks 15, 16, and 17, the Rams played great defense against the pass. So the Rams defense have shown us a little bit that they might be undervalued. So I took the under at 47.5. I expect Stafford to be a little conservative, maybe. The thing with Matt Stafford is, and that's the thing on the other side of the ball, when we're talking about Matt Stafford, there's also questions to be answered here. Because on one hand, you have a Minnesota defense that blitzes a lot, that prides itself on getting to the quarterback. They're pretty good at it. They blitz a lot. They're pretty good in terms of generating pressure. They're not elite, but they're pretty good. Stafford, one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL against pressure. He's terrible when you get pressure on him. But when the Vikings send those blitz packages on the plays that they don't get home, Stafford's a top 10 quarterback against the blitz. So when you blitz Matt Stafford and don't get there, that's when he is his best. Bottom line, expecting both teams to run the ball, the clock to roll. Comes down to the last play of the game or the last couple minutes of the game. I trust Matt Stafford to make the throw over Sam Darnold. So I guess at plus 2.5, you could put up a Rams graphic for me. As of right now, I have not bet the Rams. I probably will, but like I said the other day, I mean, just doing some gambling here, guys. I truly. Is it 1.5 now?
That's what the thing says.
No, it's 2.5 still. I don't know why the graphic says that. So Rams plus 2.5. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win this game 40-6. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings win this game 63-0. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is 10-9. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is 45-44. That I just feel like that this game could go a number of different ways. So if I was running this like a tout service, which is what some people are telling me I should do, if I was running this like a tout service, I would say do not bet this game. If your only priority is winning money, do not bet this game because it could go any different way. That being said, if you're trying to gamble, I'm going Rams and under. There you go.
Yeah, I saw your comment too. Legit, I agree. I mean, Puka Nacua. Oh my God, the guy's a god. The reason I'm playing Cooper Kupp here rather than Puka Nacua is simply the value. Also, I feel like the bets that make me scared to bet him are the ones that I wind up cashing at a higher rate, and I'm a bit scared to bet this one. I mean, if you owned Cooper Kupp in the fantasy playoffs or bet his over any of the past 5 weeks, I mean, you probably have a vendetta against this guy. He's absolutely sucked. 1-4 to the over last 5 games, averaging a minuscule 32 yards per game, 4.6 targets, and less than 3 receptions per game during that span. I mean, absolutely disgusting. I just simply can't see that continuing. I mean, this is a big moment right here. He's going to face a Vikings defense that not only funnels looks to the pass game with their elite rush defense that specializes in stopping gap concepts. That's exactly what the Rams' rush offense leans on. But they also really struggle to stop slot receivers. I mean, out of the slot versus Minnesota, we've seen some massive performances this year. Amon-Ra St. Brown just had 77 and 112. Jackson Smith and the Jigba, 95. Keenan Allen, 82 and 86. Josh Downs, 60. Jaden Reed, 139. I could go for days. But the one guy I didn't mention is none other than Cooper Kupp, who had 51 yards on 5 receptions versus Minnesota in his return from injury. Guy only played 58% of the snaps in that game. His season average in healthy games is 87%, so I already think we're catching a bit of value there. And the Vikings love to do 2 things here. They love to blitz, and they love to use 2 high shells. When he's blitzed, his yards per route run goes from 1.53 when he's not to 3.41 when he is. So that's more than double in terms of the efficiency. On top of that, with the 1 high to 2 high, 1.83 against 1 high, 2.59 against 2 high. If you look at Kupp's last 5 opponents, they were either bottom 10 in blitz frequency or 2 high frequency. Now Kupp is facing a Vikings defense that leads the league in both of those, so I just think this is way too good of a spot to pass up here. I believe in Cooper Kupp. As old as he is, the old Billy Goat's going to cash out for us tonight.
Yeah, some people talk about fading people in the... Real quick, actually, I just sent you a Lindy quote. Lindy's if you're wondering why Lindy's not here, it's Monday. I just emailed you Lindy's quote for the game.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So read that.
Let me go ahead and say, I can imagine what this is.
The thing with fading is it's nonsensical. How this works is you either have an edge or you don't. So, like, it's not like... So you're either... If you don't have an edge, you're 50-50. If you have an edge, you're like 55%. So the idea that, like, if you're saying someone doesn't have an edge, they're guessing, and it's 50-50. So the idea of fading somebody would actually be implying that they have an edge, that they can consistently hit at 47.6% or lower, which would mean they actually have an edge. And I realize I'm explaining this and no one's going to know what I'm talking about. Whatever. Keep talking about fading people if you want. Right, we won't turn this into a math thing.
Let's put this
the Lindy quote
on the screen.
You make it the whole screen. Bigger. Lindy, who usually is here on Mondays. Dear Kyle Kirms, faithful YouTube minions, I ain't no bitch, I ain't no snitch, and here's the sitch. I must go watch my Vikings dismantle the Rams in person at State Farm Stadium. If you're a smart, subservient human who fights for the greater good, you'll join me on jamming in on Minnesota -2.5. The rest of you goblins and ghouls, I cannot tell you just how much I look forward to your cute little fade Lindy, Rams now immortal Max, blah, 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 bullshit tweets. These will not affect me because never forget, you cannot break what is already broken. Skull bitches.
Wow.
So strong words from a strong man.
There. I like the rhyming at first. I thought he was going to continue it throughout, and that would have really done it for me, but powerful nonetheless. I really hope they lose tonight.
All right, so should we talk some college basketball?
Absolutely. I hope to break out the cold streak for my viewers tonight. God bless you all. If you're fading, go eat a bag of shit.
So Alfred in the comments said, I've been doing this for 18 years full time. Disagree respectfully. Sometimes you got to fade the capper. I'm not saying like you don't bet against people, whatever. That's not really what I meant. I just meant if you think someone doesn't have an edge, it doesn't make mathematical sense to fade them because their bets would be 50-50 if you don't think they have an edge. If you're saying like, oh, I'm betting against this guy because he's cold, that also doesn't make mathematical sense because someone's cold. We're getting more into like superstition than actual math.
If you're fading people, it's just really simple for me. Just show me that you don't know how to handicap a game yourself if you're out here just fading people. It's really simple. It's just that simple for me.
All right. Shall we talk some college ball?
Where the hell is Scoot? Never mind.
Someone just commented.
He did say he can't do Mondays.
He can't do Mondays.
Oh, he did? I don't pay attention to that.
Someone just commented, fuck that, I'm fading Lindy.
Lindy's been feisty all morning. I saw him on his Twitter drinking his Bloody Marys with his sweet jersey on.
All right. UCLA, Rutgers, Toast. I saw you faded the Scarlet Knights.
I mean, kind of. Not really. I mean,
Yeah,
they
you
can
did.
still win. They can still win, I still win my bet. So
I didn't make a graphic for this for you, so probably just gonna have to tell you.
You
It's
can
Rutgers.
still put up team total under, but
Rutgers
you can
team total under.
It's one of those. Today kind of sucks because I really don't like this board today, and I know that a lot of people can't bet Rutgers in general, and some people can't even bet team total unders in college basketball, depending on what state you in. So I do apologize for this. I just don't want to trust the UCLA offense, but neither one of these teams have obviously lived up to expectations this year. We know that with UCLA and Mick Cronin going through his team in the media, or Rutgers having only two guys that can do anything. But this is going to be a really big test for Rutgers against the UCLA defense. Like I said, I don't want anything to do with that UCLA offense, but they did. But the UCLA defense didn't look great against Maryland. But they were traveling across the country. I assumed that it was going to be a better spot for them because Cronin had called them out. I don't think they played bad in the first half. I think they kind of lost their head in the second half with some of the calls. Regardless, they weren't going to win that game. But I don't really put too much into that. Not to mention the fact that I think that UCLA is going to do a very good UCLA. You can count on and taking away the best option for the other team, and I think they're going to be able to do that with Harper. And if they're going to make it, I think they're going to make it really hard for Harper to not only get the ball, but when he does get the ball, he's going to have to get rid of it. And if that's going to be the case, I'll take my chances with Rutgers trying to find ways to score. Is Ace Bailey a really fantastic talent? Yeah, but he's got a lot of work to do. He takes a lot of stupid shots. He turns the ball over. He does everything else really well. He does everything really well, but he's still a freshman and he still makes a lot of mistakes. And let's not act like this UCLA team hasn't shown up in big games this year. I mean, they went on the road and held Oregon to 71 points. They held Arizona to 54 points. They held Gonzaga to 62 points. I mean, this team can still defend. And I do think that we're getting a little bit of a better number here tonight because that UCLA hasn't played as well their last two games. But again, Michigan and Maryland hadn't been fantastic three-point shooting teams. That's kind of, especially Michigan, very volatile. And they shot the lights out against UCLA. Rutgers, there's no chance in hell Rutgers shoots the way that those two teams shot it from three. So I played Rutgers team total under. I think this game is honestly a coin flip when you're picking sides. Both of these teams, you can make the same cases that they should be much better than they are, and it's sooner or later they're going to figure things out. Well, they both lost 4 games in a row. Again, I think that UCLA's played a little bit better competition. I don't think there's any question about that, but at the same time, they haven't really shown me anything on offense to really trust them. So I lean UCLA because I do think Rutgers is all the way broken. I think that they have two guys, like I said, that can do anything, and then everybody else can do absolutely nothing. And I think that against a UCLA team that can play defense, that's going to be really bad for them. So again, I don't want to lay the points with UCLA, but I don't think that Rutgers is putting up 70 points tonight. There's no chance. There's no chance.
What's the number for Rutgers? Is it 70 and a half? Oh, 60 and a half.
Harrison to the comments. What's up, man? Haven't talked to you in a while. Hope all is well. Harrison said, "Isn't that the kid of the son of Ron Harper?" Yeah. They both are. Ron Harper Jr. was there last year. Me and Toe saw him hit a game winner against Purdue live. Actually,
that was like one of the best moments of my life.
That was awesome. We weren't even supposed to go to that game. It was like a last minute. So Ron Harper Jr. was on Rutgers the last couple years. He's now on the Pistons. And Dylan Harper is the kid that's there now. So they're both Ron Harper's sons, and they both played/play for Rutgers.
Dylan, the kid that's there now, is like a little bit supposed to be.
He's
better.
like more highly touted, right? Yeah, he's supposed to be like the serious NBA prospect.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to the next one.
To be determined. We'll see.
Oh, someone send the team totals down to 67.5 on DraftKings. Look at Toast just moving the market. No big deal.
Dude, I played. You guys are gonna laugh at the team names, but I played the Arkansas Pine Bluff game over 163. I went to go put it on the website and went to 167 within like 2 minutes. I had like 3 people text me. I was like, all right, I'm not posting it.
Helm says Toast is my son. All right. Next up, Minnesota. You picked this game?
No, Scoop picks this game. This is what happened. I said, here, Scoop, I'm going to help you with this schedule. And he goes, no, I want to do it. I really want to do it. And then
he picked the schedule of a show he's not even going to be on?
Yeah, and then, no, the best part is I wake up this morning and the first text I see is from Beaver. Can I get the schedule, please? I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy. Anyway, there isn't, to be fair, to be 100% fair to Scoop, though, today's is a shit day. I mean, I honestly, these are 2 big teams. The only other game that I think is remotely even close to this game is the game that we just talked about and the Wofford-Furman game. That's how bad today is. It's a really, really bad day in college hoops. So I'll give Scoop a little bit of credit on that one. So as far as this, I was going to say, as far as this game is concerned, I want to say Minnesota, but this team, I mean, Minnesota is really bad. I can't underestimate how bad this Minnesota team is. And the only reason that I say I want to take Minnesota is you're getting Maryland off as good as you're probably going to see them. I mean, they went to the West Coast. Say what you want about that. They lost both games to Washington and Oregon. I do think that you're going to see that this year from time to time when some of these teams like Maryland go to the West Coast. It's just not going to be a good trip, and it is what it is. But at the same time, I mean, they shot against Washington. They shot 2 for 11 from deep. Against Oregon, they finally shot well. They finally figured it out against UCLA as well. But I just kind of feel like this is kind of like a letdown spot for Maryland after a huge win against UCLA. They got Northwestern on deck on the road, and now they face this Minnesota team that lost by 20 to Purdue, lost by 50 something, and that's an exaggeration, but a ton to Wisconsin. They were never in that game. And then the Ohio State game, which they had in their hands, they should have won that game. They ended up screwing that game off and losing that game in double overtime. So again, should Maryland win this game really easy? Yeah. Do I really want to lay 16 plus points or whatever it is now? No, not really. But again, it would be only Maryland or pass. Again.
Oh, Maryland.
Minnesota. Yeah. Again.
Did he just freeze?
Maryland Bowl does it to the best of us. I mean, just such a dynamic program. Jets interviewed the football head coach, just
look at the picture. It's frozen out, dude. All right, let's go to the next game.
No, it's all good. Just a little freezy-reezy. Are you? Oh, he pushed the X.
He pushed the X.
He pushed the X. He was done talking about Maryland Bowl. I don't blame him. All right. Well, he's back. 1 second. There he goes.
I can't see him, but it's all right. It's the last game.
Boston College, Notre Dame, another one. Again, I don't understand. I mean, I guess Boston College or pass. This is another game where I truly think it's a coin flip. You have Notre Dame that's looked like shit over the last week and a half or so, but they've also played North Carolina and Duke and NC State and Georgia Tech, and all those teams are top 100 at least basketball teams in KenPom. And you have a Boston College team that, I mean, they beat Miami. I mean, but we all know how bad Miami is. They lost to Syracuse in a somewhat competitive game. Georgia Tech absolutely killed them. They had a decent game against Fairleigh Dickinson. SMU beat them by 30. So it's just really hard to trust this Notre Dame team on the road, or just kind of in general. The issue with with Boston College on the road. Notre Dame, though, on the other side, they're really, really slow-paced team. They're mediocre on defense. I mean, again, both teams shoot free throws really well. I guess Notre Dame doesn't they can't offensive rebound. I don't even think Notre Dame rebounds very well at all. I mean,
all right, let's just do the community parlay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Oh, he's back?
He's back. No, he's back very quickly, actually.
Oh, he disappeared from me. All right, he can keep going. Let him finish then.
No, you're good. It's honestly, it's Boston College or pass. Again, this game is an absolute coin flip to me. It is what it is.
Okay, so let's just do the community parlay. 1, 2, 3.
Community parlay, the parlay bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community to be communized. making a parlay.
I guess it's just a weird technical issue.
Person on the screen.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm here. I'll do the community parlay.
Okay. Well, I just couldn't see. Well, you were frozen.
I know. For some reason, you kept disappearing from my screen.
Yeah, just a little, just a little technical issues going on. No big deal. All right, so let's do the community parlay now. I don't have an underdog because I don't have a pick for the Viking side.
We'll did they like the Vikings or Rams? Who even won that poll? Put Vikings money line and Rams money line in the parlay.
Okay.
So Vikings money line, Rams money line. Put the Knicks money line in there.
Okay.
And put the Warriors money line for the first poll.
Also, for all you people that are betting the Vikings, just know that their kicker not in a good spot right now mentally. He's missing a lot of kicks down the stretch. Can't be trusted. Just remember that.
Also, they stink on the road against the spread in the playoffs. I think
You're saying don't bet the Vikings because of their kicker.
No, I didn't say that. I just said I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that if you were going to push the button on the Vikings, that special teams has been an issue, especially the kicking unit.
And there's 3 phases of football.
Do you follow like some kind of kicking unit blog?
I do what I have to do to stay winning in my kicking bets. Okay.
You know how there's the account 32 beat writers? He's got 32 kickers.
32 kicker beat writers.
I'm just saying he missed a kick. He missed a kick against the Lions, and he missed 2 kicks against the Packers coming down the stretch. I mean, so is that the guy you want kicking your? I don't know.
Someone said you guys don't post on the app anymore. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. The app should be returning soon. The app, our app went down in late September. And with football season, I just haven't had time to fix it. So the app you're referring to, the Sauce Stepper app, is actually dysfunctional. Hopefully, it's going to be back soon. And then you'll start getting the push notifications. And also, I think I figured out a way to have the daily spreadsheets, the NBA spreadsheets, the NFL, college basketball for the games, to appear on the app as well. So hopefully the new version of app is going to have more. I will let you know. I'll announce it on like 4 or 5 straight videos so everyone sees it when it's back up and running. Had a lot of trouble with that. And then with what happened to Andy, it kind of shook things up. And so we're getting back on track. But I'll let everybody know when the app's back up and running. Apologies for that. Because I didn't realize how many people used that app until it went down. And then the messages started coming in. It was like, oh, shit, like people really like that app. So I've been working on it.
It's crazy to see the difference between people, not difference, but like how many people use the website. They only use the website, or they only use the app, or they only use Discord. It's crazy. It's cool. It's really cool, but it's just crazy. You don't think of that. At least I don't.
Did you know Kyle Theobald, that's Take It to OT?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
He shared his
up,
his bet slip today, and Kyle Theobald was at the top. Like, oh shit, I didn't know you were the same guy.
Yeah, I always talk to that guy in Discord.
Yeah, that's Kyle Theobald in the chat. Unless he was sharing someone else's bet slip.
Now he just doxed his ass, bro. Now they're coming for him.
Yeah, I like that guy too.
Now the Wolves are coming.
We're all dysfunctional, Kyle. Amen, sir. Who won that poll?
Who won that poll was the Rams. 1 second.
I just want to make something clear as well, completely off topic. I don't change sports teams for anything, but I will say if Jason Witten is the Dallas Cowboys head coach, I am no longer a Dallas Cowboys fan. I just want to point that out.
Toast,
throw that out.
Have you seen the Jets list of head coaching candidates?
I don't care.
It is like a
Who's interviewing Matt
actual
Campbell?
Joke.
Who's interviewing Matt Campbell?
The Jets, actually, that's one of their 55 candidates. So.
I'm telling you, this guy is not about glamour. He's not about showboat. He's not about showmanship.
I'm glad he's not a member of the Bratzdals. Who gives a fuck?
He's a hard-nosed coach. He knows how to win. That's that. Whoever scores on Matt Campbell, that's the head coach you want.
If Matt Campbell ever wins the Super Bowl, Kyle will never shut up.
Oh no.
Ever.
No.
Ever.
I've been trying to tell everybody. You guys don't even know what exactly he did with that program. You guys don't even know.
No, I think I actually know exactly what he did. I think I know the day he started, the day he will end eventually. I think you have it like written in stone somewhere.
I respect
actually,
good
what
coaching.
age is RJ Barrett? What age is RJ Barrett? Is he 25?
No, he's like 23.
Okay, because I've been hearing about him being an all-star for quite a bit, and I'm waiting for the day.
I believe I said when he was 25.
All right, well.
Yeah, still another year or two to go there.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Chew on a dick.
I'm just waiting on.
All
this
right.
moment.
He's also 24. You got 1 year left.
Yeah, 1 year left.
All right.
Clippers money line. Did you run? What are we doing?
I'm just doing some college ones now. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, do some college ones. People voted for Warriors. Put Warriors in the community parlay because they almost won. And then put Lakers and Grizzlies back in it. No, I'm saying put Warriors in there because a lot of people voted for that.
Okay.
Kyle trying to fire up Clones Nation. Ralph says the Bears have Matt Campbell on their list.
Really?
Great coach. If you're an NFL, if you're not a college football fan and you're an NFL fan and you're looking for a coach, be excited about Coach Campbell.
All right. Next two, the top two voter getters here will make it into the parlay.
I was listening to Colin Cowherd on the radio this morning, and he's like, the Cowboys could go get Lincoln Riley. And then his buddy on the side desk was like, and pay the $70 million buyout. And Colin, you could hear him think about it. And he's like, well, if he can buy a yacht, he can buy Lincoln Riley. And I'm like, this is riveting. This is just amazing.
I was going to say,
I'll
you
never
were listening
forget.
to those two? Jesus Christ.
No,
Were you trying
I don't
to
have
lose
anything
brain
against
cells?
Colin Cowherd. He's in the hot take business, and if you're in that industry, it's your job to say ridiculous things. I will say the one moment I'll never forget about ESPN, it was last March, was when, I don't know if you remember, AJ, it was me, you, and Andy in the office, and we were busy as hell because there was like 8 or 9 NBA games. We had the round of 64 for March Madness the next day. There was so much basketball on in a 48-hour stretch. So we were busy as shit in the office. We put on ESPN on the TV. The lead story on like First Take or whatever it was, is Anthony Edwards a threat to Michael Jordan's legacy?
Yeah, that was crazy.
They talked about it for 20 minutes, and it was like
Like,
absolutely not. Like, I'm going to come out and say it. Yes, he is. They talk about it for 20 minutes. Like, guys, there's 60 meaningful basketball games on in the next 48 hours. What are you talking about?
All right, we've officially got the freaking LA Forest Fire Relief fucking community parlay, folks. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We got the LA Rams, we got the LA Clippers, we got the LA Lakers, and we got the UCLA Bruins in a money line. See, now I can't calculate the last leg here because of course it's UCLA Rutgers, of course, but. Folks, I mean, if you win this one, you got to donate somehow. You got to donate.
What's the odds on it? Someone shout out the odds.
I don't know, Poughkeepsie Pete. I know the first.
They could probably do it on demand. Most of them already have this parlay down.
I know the first 3 legs are plus 379.
Oh. Real quick.
Beefelly, how could you say this is a trash lay? How dare you?
Beefelly?
Beefelly.
Just put this in my plus EV calculator. It's definitely plus EV.
Beefelly's supposed to be a friend of the program.
Hold
That's
on,
what
I
I'm
got
saying,
the odds
Beefelly.
right now. 4-legger.
It's plus 645.
53.
How
plus
could that not be
645.
plus EV?
We're going to play the intro again for those of you that didn't hear it. And everyone have a good one. Hit them with the intro, then we'll get out of here.
All right.
Also, congrats.
No one heard that, Toast. I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking.